that our document contains an American name spelled out, that says to experienced people who've worked with this stuff that what we got is forged. It's fake. Which is interesting if you work on this show. This is news because why is someone shopping a forged document of this kind to news organizations covering the Trump-Russia affair? Last week, 3 journalists resigned from their jobs at CNN after that network retracted a story they had written about the Trump administration related to the Trump-Russia affair. CNN says the sourcing of that story, in retrospect, did not meet its editorial standards. Also last week, Vice retracted 2 stories about the Trump administration, like CNN. Vice also cited problems with the sourcing of those stories. The thing that's knocking around in the back of your mind right now is from 2004. When the legendary Dan Rather lost his career at CBS over a story for the Evening News that delved into George W. Bush's truncated service in the National Guard during Vietnam. The Rather team had documents that they got from a source that they checked out, but the sourcing of those documents was later attacked and undermined. CBS was ripped to shreds over the process it went through that resulted in those documents being put on the air as the basis for that story. Still, over a decade later, the origin of those documents is murky. But undeniably, CBS running that story was a disaster for 2 things. It was a disaster for everyone involved, and it was a disaster for a news story. Right? That was, in personal terms, that was the end of a trusted voice of reason and insight and perspective, Dan Rather, as a regular presence in the family living room. In terms of the news, that was a spike through the heart of the story of George W. Bush's National Guard service keeping him out of Vietnam, which was a true and interesting story, and which really might have been a serious ongoing political liability for candidate George W. Bush. But nobody was ever willing to touch it again during that campaign because of the way those documents purporting to prove out the worst aspects of that story blew up like a pipe bomb at CBS News. And so, heads up, everybody. This is what I mean by an inside-out scoop. Somebody, for some reason, appears to be shopping a fairly convincing fake NSA document that purports to directly implicate somebody from the Trump campaign in working with the Russians on their attack on the election. It is a forgery. Let me caveat that. It is either a forgery or every single national security official we consulted about this story is wrong about it. I don't know if the Trump campaign worked with Russia or not. If they did knowingly work with a foreign government, a foreign military intelligence service to attack our election to help Trump to the presidency, that is clearly the biggest political scandal in modern American history by a mile. We don't know if it happened or not. We don't know yet whether it happened or not. Not yet. The special counsel is investigating, congressional committees are more or less investigating, and the American news media is investigating. Whether or not the Trump campaign did it, one way to stab in the heart aggressive American reporting on that subject is to lay traps for American journalists who are reporting on it. Trick news organizations into reporting what appears to be evidence of what happened, and then after the fact, blow that reporting up. You then hurt the credibility of that news organization. You also cast a shadow over any similar reporting in the future, whether or not it's true, right? Even if it's true, you plant a permanent question, a permanent asterisk, a permanent who knows, as to whether that too might be false, like that other story, whether that too might be based on faked evidence. So heads up, everybody. Part of the defense against this Trump-Russia story now we can report includes somebody apparently forging at least one classified NSA report and shopping it to news organizations as if it's real. We don't know who's doing it, but we're working on it. Heads up in the meantime, everybody. We will be right back.